Good day, my name is ZHANG. Today I will be presenting my analysis on strategy wisdom from the Arts of War, focusing on principle of avoid strength and strike weakness and its application in modern business strategy. The core idea we explore came from Sun Tzu, The Arts of War, an army avoid strength and strike weakness. In modern business, this translates to avoiding costly head-on competition with industry giants and instead finding opportunity in market gaps and unmet customer needs. This presentation will show how company can apply this wisdom through 4 key lenses: strategy positioning, competitive strategy, resource allocation, and dynamic adaptation. First, strategy positioning is about deciding where to compete. It involves accurately identifying what is strength and what is weakness in the competitive landscape. Strength refers to competitor stronghold or saturated market. Weakness represents unmet needs, technology gaps, or underserved niches. A classic example is Xiaomi. In the early smartphone market, it avoided the strength of Apple and Samsung in the premium segment. Instead, it struck the weakness, the consumer desire for affordable yet quality phone. By leveraging online sales to cut costs, it successfully targeted this gap and grew rapidly. Once you know where to compete, the next question is how to compete. Sun Tzu reminds us that water has no constant shape, so our tactics must be flexible. The goal is not to fight a stronger opponent on their term, but to change the rule of the game. Here are the 4 smart ways to do it. The first one is offensive strategy, like Netflix, which attacks the vulnerability of traditional cable TV. It rigid schedule and ads by offering on-demand and ads-free streaming. The second is defensive strategy, where companies like Apple build moats around their business, such as the loyal ecosystem, making it hard for customers to leave. The third one is preemptive threat, for example like Facebook, acquisition of Instagram and WhatsApp. It eliminates the potential future threat before they could grow. The last one will be the creative disruption, the most advanced form, where companies like Tesla don't just find a weakness, they create a whole new market space for electric vehicles, forcing others to follow. Besides that, strategy requires resources. Sun Tzu advises to concentrate your own forces. This means focusing your limited money, talents, and time on the identified weaknesses. A focused approach is crucial. Look at company Didi. In the beginning, they focused everything on dominating ride-hailing in major cities, which effectively striking the weaknesses of traditional taxi services. On another side, look at Li Eco. They spread themselves way too thin, jump into cars, TVs, phones, all at once. At the end, they lost focus, ran out of cash and collapsed. This demonstrates that failing to focus your force as the principal demands often lead to strategy failure. Not only that, the market is never static. A weakness today might become a strength tomorrow. Therefore, companies must always watch the market and be ready to adapt their strategy quickly to pivot like water. For example, like Apple, after the iPhone's success, it didn't stop. It continuously adapted by expanding into services like Apple Music and iCloud, always finding a new weak point to grow into. On the other hand, like Nokia, it failed to see the weakness its traditional phone had against smartphone. Lacking this dynamic adaptation, it lost its market dominance. In the digital age, this means needing to be agile, using data, and pivoting resources rapidly. Now, this all sounds great, but we can't follow this principle blindly in today's world. We have to think deeper. First, ethics matter. Just because a weakness exists doesn't mean you should exploit it. Targeting vulnerable people with predatory loans, for example, might be profitable short term, but it will destroy your reputation and bring regulatory problems and trouble in long term. So, your strategy needs a moral compass like ESG. Second, the world is fuzzy. In the digital age, strengths and weaknesses are not always clear-cut. A competitor physical store might seem like a strength, but it can become a liability. Meanwhile, Data and user network can become an incredible new strength, as we saw with ByteDance and its powerful algorithm. And third, sometimes you have to face the choreograph. There are the times where attacking the strength is the only option. For critical technology like semiconductor chips, avoiding the challenges is not a choice. For example, like Huawei faced the US sanctions, they didn't run away. They faced it head-on with massive R&D investment. This shows that in some cases, a direct fight with long-term survival and sovereignty is necessary. So, what is the big takeaway? Sanju wisdom is as relevant as ever. Avoid strength and strength weakness give us a powerful framework for a smart competition. But the company that will lead tomorrow won't just be the one that are good at flowing around the obstacle like water. The true leader will be the one who can also shape the flow itself. The one that can combine the ancient wisdom with a strong moral compass, the agility to adapt, and the courage to sometimes change the game entirely. They won't just find a value, they will also create a lasting value for everyone. That's conclude my presentation. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.